Alright, so this arena run shows off some of the new stuff in the recent patch. The patch notes will be in description if you want to go through all of it. But they changed the Grizzly Bear and they changed the life system. So the Grizzly Bear used to be 2 friends summoned. It would deal 6 damage to 2 things. And now it is when 3 friends attack. So things actually don't need to be summoned, which means it's actually better with scaling teams. So if you have like a 50-50 in front and that gets multiple attacks off, then you could possibly get like a Grizzly trigger before that thing even dies. So it's kind of an interesting change, but it kind of feels like it's actually a buff. And I feel like people were actually looking for a nerf for the Grizzly Bear. So that is very confusing. Also, they changed Pita Bread. So instead of acting as like a potential even better melon armor, now it just gives health based off what your attack is, which I don't know. I haven't like tested out a ton. We'll see how people feel about it. But pretty big changes. And the life system, very different. You can see you start with 4 lives, and now I kind of clicked through it pretty fast there, but on turns 3 and 5, you can regenerate 1 life each time. So, I mean, you can throw again. Throw rounds are back. If you have 4 hearts on turn 2 or turn 4, you can just lose with no consequence. I feel like this is not a great solution to the problem. I understand that like you don't want to lose all your hearts early on because like the beginning's kind of a lot of RNG and it's kind of frustrating to just lose because like you get a couple bad shops early on. But like I don't even know how to fix this. The discussion on the last video about the life system, man, it was very interesting to read. So I would say like it was a slight majority for people favoring the new life system. Life system. Of course, I don't like the old new life system. Okay, I guess I should clarify the one where you lose by how many pets are in the opponent's team. Um, like but this one, I don't know. This is back to the way old life system where you just lose 1 no matter what. But they added in a small regen thing. I have to imagine they're also going to revert this one. It's going to be really hard for them to find an actual life system that everyone is happy with at this point because they've tried out so many things and people have different opinions and it's going to be impossible to please everyone. I guess that's kind of the case like every time. But as you can see, I regenerated another life there. It's nice not to like worry too much, but the idea of losing a round and it not mattering is kind of unfortunate. It was in the like the current life system on the normal game. That is a thing in like versus and arena where you can go from like 9 to 7 or 15 to 13 and it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. They've been experimenting with this a lot. I'm curious to hear people's opinions. Like there was a lot of discussion about it last time, so I'm sure people like this is a couple days late. The update came out like 3 days ago, but it's still interesting because they haven't reverted it yet, but they did wait like a full week before they actually released another update. So they might just be thinking about it before they actually revert it again. The devs have reverted and unreverted a lot of things in the past. They are not afraid to like admit that this was not better, or this was a mistake, and then just like change it again. So we'll see. This might just be a little bit of an experiment, and we'll probably be back to the old life system, or the new life system, or the old new life system, whatever it is, eventually. But this video, again, shows off the Grizzly. So now when you scale with the Grizzly, it also works out really well. They changed Chocolate Cake, so now it gives the 1 experience after the battle, and it's only 1 instead of 3. So if you have a level 1.5 beta fish, you can give it a chocolate cake, and then it'll be level 2, and then it'll give its feint ability, which is kind of insane. Because this, I don't know how to actually say it. Is it beta or beta fish? That's a large amount of stats. You can get 6/6 off of it when it's only level 1.5, which is really helpful. Gonna lose this round, and so, yeah, you don't actually have a lot of rounds to lose anymore. Once you get past turn 5, you can only lose 4. I mean, that's still quite a few, though. Like, being able to lose that much, you can lose 3 rounds, which I guess is pretty much the same when you were at 10 hearts. If you had 10 hearts like before, I don't know. It's weird, but I think so. My overall impressions, to just summarize them about the old life system that they were using before, where it was per pet. I don't like how inconsistent it was. You can like lose. Actually, it made positioning even more important because if you thought about a team that has a 50-50 and then 4 1-1s, which is not realistic, but still, you could lose 3 hearts, or if they position the 50-50 in the back, you could only lose 1 heart. Again, like a wolf or a summon thing that spawns more in the back causes you to lose more hearts. I also felt like the arena games went on too long. I know that a lot of people like when the games go really long and you can get everything you want, but I think that like for the most part, the round it should be ending on is like just before teams actually get a lot of 50-50s and before you get all the level 3s. I know it's like slightly disappointing and they could add a potential like I don't know, continue this on or something, but or even like a sandbox mode or a spectator mode for versus as well. That's also a thing that needs to be added. But I feel like at this point it's been so long, I don't know if they're actually gonna add it. But yeah, the heart system, it's so weird, and I don't know if there's a perfect solution to it. I certainly don't know, so we'll just see. As for the actual run, I'm going with a lot of scaling, so the Cockatoo actually can give a ton of scaling as well. If you have 3 feint abilities, that gives just a lot of stats, since it's 2 1 to 3 units with feint abilities. I believe they also mentioned in the patch notes that like there's a specific difference between before feint and feint abilities, because it was kind of confusing before, but now it is 2 separate things. So if you go with like Opossum to start, then it will not buff the before feint abilities. But yeah, the blue Octo is still going to be the best scaling in this pack. You can potentially, like, if you somehow super high roll it and get 3 of them a turn, you could get, like, I don't know, 6-6 to your team, or even, like, 9-9, I guess, if you just find a bunch of waffles. But there's the level 2, there's the early Grizzly, so love to see that. Gonna go ahead and sell the Penguin. That's just nice early scaling. They also flipped the stats on Baboon, so it's now 1-2 instead of 2-1. This is probably all old news by now, but yeah, the Grizzly is going to get a lot of value, especially since I do find a pita bread for this stork. Wait, what is it? It's a stork, right? I don't actually remember, but yeah. Getting a couple triggers there, plus like having a big slug is going to be a huge advantage if you have Grizzly Bear, because now like what do you do against big slug? You automatically get 3 triggers off of that, and you can get a lot more if it has the actual good base stats. So I feel like they're going to change Grizzly again. Like, the sniping is just too strong sometimes, and when it takes out people's entire teams, it can be a problem. Like, a lot of times, it'll just be a Grizzly versus Grizzly team, and if, like, one person kills the other Grizzly, then they kind of just win. But that's why I think Potato is actually quite an interesting thing in this pack, because it is pretty helpful to be able to just avoid dying in one hit to another Grizzly. So, does seem very worth it at this point. And yeah, looking like a pretty good team. This Fire Ant's also just giving some extra attack. There's the Pita Bread. So yeah, now we'll gain 34 extra health in battle. That's immediately just a 50-50, which is pretty helpful. That is not a Stork, it is a Stilt. I don't know why I thought it was a Stork, because Stork's in custom packs, or pack 3. So that already exists in the game. I should know that. So 12 damage twice is 24 damage, and it's just a killer. You can see absolutely crushing teams, and even though I'm on lethal, I'm not even like too scared at this point, because this team is just nasty. And if I really want to, I can sell the blue Octo and put in like another slug or a wolf or something. Just get a whole bunch more summons. This does mean if things get sniped on your team, then the Grizzly won't be super helpful, because obviously you get less attacks off of that. But it's like with scaling with blue Octo, that's not really going to happen. It did just happen because they also had a Grizzly. But as long as it doesn't snipe my Grizzly, I guess it's kind of fine. So yeah, still looking pretty good. There's another slug if I want it. I guess like Cobra can kind of still counter this a little bit. You're going to have to kill the Grizzly before like it actually gets to activate, I guess. But it's really hard to scale the Cobra up that quickly. Like, you have to get it to level 2, get it to like 20 attack at least or something, so it'd be able to kill the Grizzly in like 2 hits. And especially if it has Potato, it would be very difficult to actually counter. I'm imagining they're going to do some more patching before Pack 4 actually comes out on the main game. We'll see how it is. Like, they continue to kind of nerf things for the most part, so I'm a little skeptical about the future. I mean, I mentioned this before, but they could make it so it's another pack 3 and it's just worse than all the other packs, and then it's a little disappointing. I think just a lot less fun to play, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they just kind of, I don't know, they just keep it fun, keep it interesting, but try to keep it balanced, which is a difficult thing to do. So who knows? Run into, is this the Wildebeest? It uses Trumpets to gain Coconut. Doesn't even matter because the Grizzly just deals an insane amount of damage. 18 damage twice, solid 36 damage, and they're not even reaching my slugs, which is guaranteed Grizzly trigger. I keep saying guaranteed, but it's not actually guaranteed. Assuming they don't get sniped, it is 2 more Grizzly triggers for another 36 damage, which is 72 damage total. And I mean, that's too much damage. So we'll see. This isn't even Big Slug. This is Big Stilt, which is like a weird team as well. But I guess the benefit here is you also get the Golden Retriever, so you get 1 additional summon just in case you need that 1 extra for the Grizzly. And a really well-statted team here. Doesn't even matter because I get so many Grizzly triggers. And just an easy 10 wins with Grizzly Bear in Arena with Pack 4. So yeah, thanks for watching. Curious to hear what people's thoughts are about this life system, even though I don't think it's going to stick around. Still might be worth discussing. See ya.